Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the New Politician. I wanted to make this video. It wasn't something I was planning to make, but it's something that I guess I should have maybe expected it, but it's showing up now all over social media, which is a lot of people who I might agree with when it comes to policy on the Republican or conservative side are kind of like they're going out of their way now to criticize Martin Luther King on his birthday, and that's problematic for me. That's problematic for me, and I honestly believe that it should be problematic for all of us as a group. So here's the issue with it. I am not against any kind of historical review or looking back at context if it's relevant to today of any figure or any event. Fair game. I'm not opposed to going back, looking at the truth as objectively as possible, bring it forward, have a discussion about it. No problem. Bring up the truth, say what needs to be said, and don't avoid it. Here's the thing though, there's saying what needs to be said, and then there's saying what needs to be said with wisdom, right? And this is something that I think all of us are guilty of at different times. But today I'm focusing specifically on the issue of Martin Luther King's birthday because on his birthday, on the day when society as a whole is offering some kind of appreciation for his legacy, you want to call it his legacy, you want to call it his good works. Did he have problems? Sure. Do all of us? Sure. But this is one day where we just look at the good, right? It's not the time to criticize. And here's the thing. As much as we may need to be talking about these issues, it's not going to be constructive like this. The only people who are going to appreciate what's being said are the people who already agree with you no matter what, for the most part. For the most part. Obviously, no matter what doesn't mean no matter what, but for the most part, they already kind of agree with everything, right? The goal of criticizing or bringing up a historical fact or a historical figure, or even critiquing and looking at today's policies and politicians, the whole point of that is not to just cause problems or to fan the flames or to cause division, right? And I'm assuming that the vast majority of people who are taking a position today that we should be able to criticize or critique Martin Luther King's legacy, that they're doing it in good faith, and it's just a matter of the logistics of it. It's just a matter of the logistics of it. And so we need to kind of like we look at the truth and be respectful. Saying what needs to be said doesn't need to come at the cost of being respectful. If we do that, then we increase the chances of any critique being better received by anyone who might disagree with us so that we can have a constructive dialogue, a constructive look at a historical figure who maybe we haven't looked at deep enough relative to the amount of positive attention that Martin Luther King gets. Maybe that's the case, maybe it's not. But that's the point. If we're going to have these conversations, then let's do it with wisdom, the right time, the right place. Think of it think of it this way, just to give you a quick example. George Washington's birthday, July 4th. Instead of talking about the independence of America and the freedom of America and all of the things that we have going on for our country, instead of those, we talk about how the founding fathers had slaves. That was the focus. Why? It's a reality. I don't know why. It's a reality. They offered so much good, and we should recognize it. And on certain days, we should recognize it even more. But looking at the historical context, we shouldn't ignore the fact that many of the founding fathers had slaves. It's historical context. It's understanding, but there's a time and a place. Imagine on Veterans Day, people go out and criticize veterans and the wars that are going on. It's just disrespectful. We should be able to analyze and look at and critique and rebuke all of the different kind of wars that we may be in, or have these kind of discussions, or whatever it may be. But there's a time and a place. And so the bottom line really is, if the intention of discussing Martin Luther King's flaws as a human being. If that is the intention, and the intention is not to just degrade him, then pick a time and a place that facilitates that. Anyhow, I hope that some of this message got through. I hope that I was able to kind of communicate things. But I realized that this needed a little bit more attention, and I hope that it came through, because right now things that need to be said are being said at the worst possible time, causing the maximum amount of division, and that does not need to happen. Thank you.